Why the GamerLegion shirt?
Yeah,
bro?
it's the first thing I was
let
about
it
to
go,
ask.
DauT. Let it go.
I
it's
don't
fine.
have anything else. Like, that's it. I can stream the naked if you want like that. There's no plan B here.
Speaking of laundry, it became a bit of a meme. I don't know if you realized, Hera. The whole
I was
thing with
about
the
to put
piano.
my laundry behind,
Oh.
but I was too lazy.
just to have some solidarity with
By
me.
the way,
I love
Nelson,
it.
listen, bro, I actually see where they're coming from. It's like in that hotel when they have that little laundry cart. I swear to God, that little green thing, it looks exactly like it.
Dude,
So,
but
like,
everybody
I
knows it's a
understand.
piano, so why would you think I have my laundry on my piano? What?
Where else would you put your laundry? Like, if I had piano, I would put it there. Like,
In a drying rack, something like that, That's just me. All right, hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Mishmora.
And I'm Hera.
And this is episode 41 of the Town Center, your podcast dedicated to all things Age of Empires. In today's show, after an incredibly intense last few hours, the first phase of qualification for the RedBull main event is over, and we now have the names of 4 players who already secured their spot, with 4 more coming this weekend. Then on January 2nd, GamerLegion announced their departure from our scene, but just a few days later, we got the news that Vitality would be arriving at the scene with a brand new Age of Empires 2 team. Amid all the hype, don't forget, we still have a new DLC to look forward to. Joining us today to make sense of all this and more is DauT. DauT, thank you so much for taking the time, and welcome to the Town Center.
thank you for the invite.
If you guys enjoyed the show, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you'd like to support us further, please do consider a donation. A link will be in the description box down below. But DauT, let's get to serious business, my friend. Why did you give up so early in the Ladder Qualifier?
That's a great question.
I give up too late, honestly. I honestly, I should have gone. Next time, I will not even play it. I will just wait. That's like not healthy.
But you got $500.
I will give you 1,000 not to play it. Like literally, that's a rat race. I'm not rat. I'm not racer. I'm not doing that any they're just like too heavy. Like,
But wait,
it's
hold on.
really
But
heavy.
you were doing incredibly well at some point. So you were top 8,
Yeah.
just for the people that didn't follow. You were top 8 at some point. You had like 1,723 elo, I think, something like that. That's like your max.
You know every
then what
single
happened?
yellow I have.
Yeah, of
He
course. I
prepares.
was
This guy
following your
prepares,
journey.
bro.
I was following your journey.
the-
But you had exactly 1,723 elo.
well, I
What
had to
happened?
decide: do I play few games per day, or do I commit to the content? I commit to the content, and
Never commit
content
to the
took
content.
never commit to content. Content took everything out of it. It's like either I will be my own content or other streamers' content. I decide to take matches of my own hand. Oof, was a brutal day.
Yeah, so you
And
dropped
then
from
on
like
top of that-
1,723 to 1,500, and then you just gave up.
1,599, like just because it's the first
91. 1,591.
What you know exactly? It's not that big of a difference. Like I could have recovered, but I saw your recover. I saw everybody else, and I was like, no, like it's now mirror matchups. I will play, I don't know, against Sebastian, your mirror matchups where I need to win like 10 games in a row to just like recover. What's the point? Like maybe it will happen, then I will lose again 10 matchups and back to 1.5. What's the point? Like I don't think that's healthy. I had better things to do that weekend. Spend time with my family. My daughter was traveling alone for a week. She's still not home, so I used that
goodness.
weekend family
Yo,
time.
big moment. Man, I
Yeah,
can't even
Big moment indeed.
Yeah, I can't even think about that, letting my kids travel alone. Okay, boys, we're obviously going to discuss everything about the ladder, the mirrors, the Koreans, all of that. But let's first focus on the final moment, which I thought were so crazy and amazing. And there's no retelling of those last few moments of the RedBull qualifier that will ever be able to make it justice. I feel like you had to be there, we had to witness the whole thing live. 3 players were immediately qualified after the closing of the ladder. Those were Hera, ACCM, and Lyric, who finished 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place respectively. The battle for 4th place, though, which also granted a spot at the main event, was just absolutely nuts. Did you actually get to follow it along a little bit, DauT? Because we know that Hera was streaming the whole thing and it made it very energetic.
When I
loved it.
need content, I always check Hera. So I was following, subbing, liking, and everything.
He's a
was
big
good
fan.
business.
He's a big fan. He's been watching me for years, guys. You can say I taught him everything he knows, but I give him some credit. So the story at the last moments was absolutely epic. It was like the best finale possible for the viewers. I think RedBull was just smiling somewhere in the background because it was like the best thing you could have ever hoped for. But I want to talk about something before that. ACCM was 5th place. All right, he plays Vinchester a couple times, wins like 2-3 in a row, and jumps from 5th to 2nd. So it could have been ACCM in that rat race for number 4, and he ended up just dodging the whole thing just by winning a couple games, which puts Vinchester in the rat race now because he's got to play more, and then it ends up coming down to a buzzer beater finish. And I have this all on YouTube. You can go back and watch it. He wins the final game against MBL, and there's 50 seconds left on the clock. So if MBL just waited 50 more seconds, typical MBL, he just trying to cockroach his way through a victory or through a defeat, then Vinchester would not have won that game and not have gotten the points to tie Hart. So it was a photo finish, and I don't know what you guys make of it. Personally, I hated the whole gray area. Like, no, MBL, you have to resign now. Like, it just felt like there was so much like up to personal interpretation as to like when the game is actually over and when the player should resign, which felt weird to me.
Poor MBL was getting so much hate. Like, resign. I'm unsubbing, I'm following MBL. Like, that guy just playing a game. If anything, he gave Winchester a chance. If he didn't queue up, maybe Winchester doesn't get the game, or gets the game where he doesn't get enough points if he wins, so it doesn't even matter. So MBL queued up, and now I'm not sure if he was like paying attention to the clock. I mean, how I don't know. I would personally never do that. Like, you're not playing in like maybe 5 more minutes. If he pays attention to the clock, actually it makes sense. Then I would resign like 20 seconds before it's over, just to like create the hype.
Well, I guess in his case, he knew he had nothing to win anymore. So he knew he would be basically deciding who qualifies and who doesn't qualify. So I think that gives it, an extra layer of importance to actually look at the clock. Guys, I think the most logical thing here, and I thought about it a little bit, I don't really see an argument against it, is why not just allow games that finish after the deadline but started before to actually still count? Then we have none of this. When do I need to resign? Can you guys think of anything that would actually speak against that? Because I can't.
I mean, so far everything was super logical, right? So every qualifier was super logical. So I have no anything bad to say about admin decisions. Everything was perfect, including that.
Oh my goodness! Someone has a gun to the DauT's head. Like, this is crazy. Maybe it's the admin. No, okay. So I gave that suggestion as well, Messamora. So I said on stream that like I find that rule crazy because now you leave it completely up to when the player resigns. It should be like if you start the game before the timer, you can finish it, and that's really simple. It just gives till 75 minutes after the timer, and then like all games will be over because there's that time limit. There's not going to be a game dragging 4 hours after the time limit. So it would have been super logical. It would have been like it would have been much more fair. We wouldn't have any of this drama or any of this, like, he should resign and whatnot. I don't know. I think the admins just went one way with it, probably because they wanted to make sure that the ladder ends, like they take the maps away at that moment, and we know exactly at that moment what happens. So I think that was the admin idea, but I think, well, let's just say they lucked out this time.
I think it's just a matter of trying, that's the only thing I can imagine, of trying to make it automatic. You set up the whole thing, it finishes at 17 GMT, that's it, no one needs to be there. But I mean, admins were there, so I think it's very easy to just allow games to just finish when they have to finish, and then if there's something really crazy that happens, you just decide on a case by case basis. So I really see no argument against it.
But by the way, we're saying admins like it's a whole team, like they have like 10 guys in a green room. It's one guy,
Nilly!
and you're sick for half of it. No, it's not even Nilly. It's actually Crazini, and like Nilly's like he's like I don't know, Nilly's like his spokesman or his lawyer or something.
Well,
he's
Nilly needs to be included in every single thing that it's negative about. No, kidding. No, that's really negative.
Honestly, like I think Crazini did a great. Crazini did the maps, he did the adminning, he did the planning. Like I think like if a few things went wrong, but I wouldn't even put the blame on him. He's one guy doing everything. So I think he did like a more or less great job, actually. But poor guy just had so much on his plate.
Okay, so I'd like to discuss with you guys, of course, the tiebreaker that happened, well, for us yesterday. By the time people are listening to this, it's probably going to be on Friday. And of course, because Winchester and Hart did finish tied up in 4th place, so they had the same highest elo, but also the highest current elo, which is crazy to think about. And that means they had to play a tiebreaker match, and Hart ends up winning the whole thing. Now, DauT, the interesting thing here for me is that Hart actually struggled very hard against Winchester during the ladder. He lost 5 games against Winchester and won none. And then suddenly, when you have like a best of 5 match, with drafts, with civs and bans, suddenly he does seem to show up in great shape. So is this all just a matter of preparation? Is that what decides these kinds of things at the end of the day?
In the end of the day, if it's not Korean Mirror, it's a different game from the ladder. Like, first you're playing different maps, you're playing draft civs. Even if Koreans are allowed, it won't be a Korean mirror. I will prepare a counter. So there is a lot of mind games before the game starts. It's preparation. It's completely different. Ladder is just being good at one thing. Last year or 2 years ago, it was Saracen Spear, right? If you're good at crossbow micro, you got in. Now, if you're good at turtling with Koreans, I'm not surprised ACM got in, right? ACCM is like first pick Koreans. Like even on Arabia, he loves Koreans. So it's completely different way of qualifying.
Did you see DauT, the Mongol all-in from Heart?
No comment. I saw it.
Okay, so what does that mean? Did you prepare him? Was that a strategy that you
No,
came
I did
up
not
with?
prepare him, but I had similar ideas.
So if I'm anything like DauT, I was theory crafting fast castle on that map. I tried it a couple times on the ladder. Mongols is the obvious choice as well because like you get the 2 boars right away. But I don't know, DauT, you might agree with me that I think Hart executed it to like almost perfection in that game. Like that was really, really impressive.
Yeah, it was.
Do you have something better there?
There are also chickens around. Of course, there are better things than that. Different things. But you cannot, like, Mongols are now out. Mongols might be banned on that map. Mongols always insane on that map. 2 boars, like, I don't know, 35 chickens, or it should be banned from now on.
Okay, I have to ask the question then. Are we ever going to be able to see something similar to Phosphoru on Empire Wars? They just send immediately 7 villagers to stone. Idle TC, is that even viable? Because I never thought that something like this would be viable.
You
with
just
a fast
ruined
castle.
my qualification. You just ruined my last chance qualifier. You literally, this episode is on Monday.
Listen, nobody listens to the show, so you're fine. You're safe, DauT. You're totally safe.
If there's any map to do Phosphoru on, it's that map there because you have the stone kind of nearby.
God damn it, was more.
But is it enough to actually send villagers to stone against 600 and whatever?
It is. You make 1 tower and you're going to be up to no time. You make a castle instead of the stables for the step lancers, and then you're going to be good to go. It will work. I just don't know what civ. DauT. I don't know what civ you're going to do it with. Probably Spanish or something. But
there's 1 million civs, Bengalis, Malay, Portuguese.
Could be anything.
Yeah. So honestly, I would still do it, and if you lose, at least you have an excuse. And you're probably gonna lose anyway, DauT. You're like seed like 35. Like relax, come on. Like, are you actually playing for real?
I'm playing for real because you know what's my bracket?
We're gonna talk about it later. Let's keep the structure. We gotta.
My lawyer
talk
can't let you talk right now. Sorry.
We gotta come to it. No worries, boys. Whenever there's a big Age of Empires 2 event, there's drama. We hate drama, but we also love drama. And
I love
like
it. I was casting that shit.
Everything. There's the Nacho situation. I kind of feel like that's old news now that Hart did end up qualifying. So I'd like to focus on the Mr. Yo drama. And again, for folks who are not in the know about what happened, Mr. Yo actually finished the ladder on 8th place. But then because of a rule that Mr. Yo actually knew was in place. It's always in place for S-tier tournaments. And the rule says that 48 hours before the finish of the ladder qualification, those who did play on the ladder were required to have a 2-minute delay on their streams. And Mr. Yo did not do that, for me, inexplicably. And that means he got a 100-point ELO deduction, which dropped him from the 8th place to 14th place, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, first of all, there's like the reward penalty, which goes from, I don't know what it was, to only $500. But more important of all, Hera, was that now he loses the advantage of actually finishing 8th, which would put him in the last round of the qualifier, the last chance qualifier, to now having to play the whole thing. And by the way, it's going to be crazy. It's like, what is it, like 8 rounds in 2 days? It's something absolutely ridiculous. So Hera, is the 100 points penalty too harsh? Too lenient? How do you see the whole situation?
Okay, so I will give my first answer, but then I'm going to give my better suggestion for the future. All right, so my answer is it was justified because they made the rule. The punishment was disqualification. That's what they had warned. So in reality, the admins were being lenient on Mr. Yo because he broke the rule. He should have been disqualified. They found the middle ground where they took 100 ELO points away instead. That means he still walks away with $500. So he's in the same boat as DauT. He hates his life, but he's got $500 in the bank. It's not even that bad, you know? But here's my thing. Like, I think that nobody's been talking about. This rule is extremely stupid. The 2-minute delay, like, it has to be talked about. The 2-minute delay is extremely stupid. And I feel like I don't like this whole like obedience to authority thing where like, oh no, the admins made the rule. You can't say anything about it. no, we can and we will say something about it. And I spoke to the admins about it this time, and they said it's too late. But the next time, we're going to talk beforehand, because putting 2 minutes delay in the last 2 days of the qualifier is wrong for a few reasons. Number one, you completely break the content of the point of view streamers. Guys like DauT can't stream the last 2 days because 2 minutes delay kills the stream completely. This is 2 minutes delay. You can't see your chat in time. You can't react to subscribers in time. You can't interact with the chat. The downtime between games, you can't talk with the chat. It completely breaks the stream. So guys like DauT, guys like me who want to do point of view streaming, is Viper, so many other names, they can't do it near the end. So near the end, it's just the casting streams, which just feels wrong because we've been point of view streaming the whole time. Secondly, if the idea is to protect the integrity of the tournament, guys, if I'm going to cheat, I'm not doing it on stream. I don't know who needs to hear this. The people who cheat are not the ones streaming. You can easily make a rule that you minimize the chat. You mute the alerts in game. You can't read the chat. You can't react to alerts. So they have no information from the stream, and that's it. Whether you're streaming with no delay or with delay, no one's going to cheat anyways. If people will cheat, it's going to be off stream. And then the third thing is, what this rule is telling me is that, oh, you can cheat the whole qualifier. Go ahead. Stream, no delay, cheat the
But in
whole
the last
qualifier.
2 days, don't.
Last 2 days, stop cheating. No. Cheat all the exams, but the final exam, no cheating, guys.
Fair,
It doesn't make any sense. So this rule is completely stupid. It's horrible. And it really needs pushback for the next edition because, for all the reasons I mentioned. And for this time, Mr. Yo deserves the punishment, but the rule is completely stupid. And I hope people can see that for the next time.
Mm-hmm. DauT?
It's like, if anything, streaming, my POV is anti-cheat. That means I'm not cheating. I'm showing there how I'm doing and how I'm playing. If I'm going to cheat, I will have Tat on my voice. He will guide me. Oh, DauT, you're getting a house or whatever. He will check 2 minute delay and tell me, oh, he's picking up relics or whatever. That's the cheating. That's how I will do it. That's how I'll do it next time. Because I'm not allowed to stream, right? So that makes no sense. It's perfect way to stop cheating, make everybody stream. Now, like Hera said, I agree with everything. The whole concept was destroyed. That's also the reason I didn't want to stream and play anymore. Like, if I continue playing for my downhill up, now T90 gets the story. Oh, DauT was down, now he's up. And I'm like, but I did it, guys. Like, it was me. Like, nobody saw it. Like, I want to do that comeback story. Like, okay, then I will not play it. You won.
The reward for this qualifier sounds like it's decent. Oh, they gave $500 to the people, further down. It's not bad. It's a step in the right direction. But guys, these people are playing like 400, 500 games at the highest level. They're earning like $5 a game in some cases at best. Mr. Yo played 420 games. He leaves with $500. He's making $1.50 a game, less than $1.50 a game. And like a game is like what, 20, 30 minutes? So he's working like $3 the hour if he's not streaming. So like, it's essential that you let these professional players stream. It's so essential. This is an inhumane qualifier for like so many reasons. The streaming is what makes it worth it. So again, I don't want to make too much of a big deal about it, but I think I really want to address this. This rule needs pushback for the next time. And I agree with DauT. It is the best anti-cheat. And honestly, there were some very suspicious games from off-stream players. That's all I'm going to say.
Ooh, that's all you're going to say? You're going to drop it like that and then run? Isn't it hit and run?
I can't prove it. Nobody can prove it. But there was extremely suspicious games from the
non-streamers.
But if
he streamed, he would know.
Exactly. If he streamed, we can see the
point,
body language. We can see the gameplay.
The body language. What? Can I get FBI agents here to analyze body language?
Well, let's just say that it's a lot harder to act when there's a camera in front of your face. But when there's no camera, hey, it's fair game. You can, sorry, I made a mistake. My bad. I lost 1,000 villagers. It happens.
Okay, but before we move on, I'd like to hear from DauT the punishment specifically for Mr. Yo, the 100-point deduction. Is that fair or is that too much?
That's not fair. It's not fair to the others. Yo should be disqualified. That's my opinion. It's unpopular. Wow. It's terrible that he's allowed to play. Well, my opinion. Like, in my opinion, Yo didn't do anything wrong, but rules are bad. Yo didn't follow bad rules. You're out. Simple as that. Don't make up now. So basically, you're paying the fee now. Like, if Hera could have streamed last 2 days, pay the fee of 500 points and still stream, right? I could have streamed as well.
That's true, actually.
I would just pay that fee and do it, right? If I knew that, I would do it. But that's not the point. Point is now, he's down there, top 128, and the prize pool he will collect or deny the others is massive. The top 8 finisher, who is having massive advantage or supposed to have, he will get Yo eventually. So he doesn't get anything. Like, he is hurting so much of the tournament by his fault. Get him out. Like, if admins are just because it's Yo, if it was anybody else, get him out.
Right.
It's like with the kids. If you cannot stand with your punishment, don't threat. You said he will get disqualified. He broke the rule. Get him out. Simple as that.
I think you raise an incredibly important point, DauT, which is, of course, we all love Mr. Yo. Nobody thinks he was trying to cheat.
Agree.
It's really heartbreaking. There was a video, you guys probably saw it, where he was reacting live when he was said that he was getting punished. And, he was like, why did I play the last day? Why did I do this? Why did I stream? No, why did I stream last day? He was really heartbroken and kind of depressed. So everybody feels for him. And while it might be incredibly appealing for the administrators and for us as viewers to sympathize with this situation, the truth is the punishment, even if it's a punishment directed at him, it can hurt other people, which is the point that you're making. And a lot of people
will get Yo now in the round 2. And why did you cheat? Why did you cheat? Because of you, I had to play round 2. Like, I can do that as well. Like, it's sad reality. He's an amazing guy. I like him a lot, but admins, it's not even his fault he got that punished not severely. He should be out. That's it. Like, he's ruining the tournament now. But then again, that was not the first thing that ruined the tournament. Let's be honest. Like, the map changes. Like, there were many things, but so yeah, let's just move on.
Did they change the map? One of the maps that was played now in the tiebreaker, like one day
Why
before.
Not? At this point, like, imagine KOTD. Arabia is not the best. Let's play Baltic. From now on, it's Baltic. Because Arabia is not balanced, Like, let's remove this one and put a bit of a Medit, a little bit of Baltic. We have it prepared, guys.
Honestly, DauT kind of convinced me a little bit. I feel like if you do have like the punishment in place, you can't just make up another one based on this situation. It reminds me of when Nikov lost 50% of his prize pool just because he only earned $100. Like, imagine if he was like first place and he lost 50% of the prize pool, would have been thousands. It's like we making up rules at the end that feels a bit strange. But I will say the rule technically was worded that you may face the risk of disqualification. So it looks like they worded it in some kind of ambiguous fashion.
Gives enough
to allow for interpretation, and leeway. So from that perspective, I do feel like, maybe this was part of their plan all along. But, that does raise a good point that, you have to watch out with the punishments. It should be only a personal punishment, not something that affects the other players, because, now exactly what he said, whoever gets the early is going to be, punished.
Losing money. Yeah,
that's it. Exactly.
Very, very fair point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on the matter.
All right. I'd like to address, I don't want to say these were controversies, but just things that people pointed out about the ladder qualifier that made it less enjoyable, potentially. And I'd love to start with the Siege Tower ban, because I believe that you guys are on different parts of this discussion.
I will convince him there too.
You'll convince him there.
So.
Okay, let's get to it. Most people are going to know, those who followed the discussion and the ladder qualifier, but basically at some point, roughly midway, I want to say, it became very obvious that this combination of Siege Tower with Fire Lancers was absolutely broken. There was no counter to it, so people were just abusing it. And then there was an effort, I believe, by Hera. I believe it was Hera who started the efforts to actually get some players on board.
It was not.
It was not you. Sorry for the misinformation.
It was a combination of players.
Okay, right.
It was Hera.
All right, disagreement. I love it. So, but in any case, most pro players agreed. Admins agreed to, and then a rule was implemented that Siege Tower ban was going to go into effect. Whoever made the Siege Tower in game would lose 100 points. So, as we just said before,
cheating.
Just as we said before,
everything is background is yellow.
Everything background yellow.
If you murder someone, it's minus 100 yellow. That's the punishment.
Same punishment.
Doesn't matter
for
what the crime.
Okay, so let's get into it, Hera. Feel free to start.
Actually, I know I'm gonna pass the stage to DauT. I want to hear what DauT thinks happened. Like, DauT, please enlighten us. What do you think happened with the Siege Tower situation?
I don't think it would change anything. If Siege Tower was in the game, it would be used less and less because it's Korean mirror. But that's not the point. But still, like, in the end, it would be a good thing. It would be refreshing. Oh, we see a Siege Tower, finally something different. But in my opinion, it was already a weekend. If it's not goddamn... if Siege Tower is not running over units and killing them, let it stay. We are 7 days in, no changes anymore. Like, we got changed map pool, we got changed everything. Like, I have been practicing for 7 days, and it's all like in the toilet right now. Like, what's the point? Like, why would I even prepare? I would just wait for the last 2 days. Why do you give us 2 weeks? Like, I never change the rules unless they are completely broken. Siege Tower was a different strategy, but not a broken one. It was beatable. I beat MPL. It was beatable.
Okay. So I disagree there. I mean, I see where you're coming from. I totally do. And I also agree in principle with not changing the rules. I do agree with that. However, I would argue that the siege tower was broken. And I think I told the devs about this like months before, just for context. It's not like it was like players were like not sure this was broken or not, and then they figured out it was no. Everybody knew it was broken. The only person that didn't know it was broken. It was the devs. The devs just had no idea. Oh, it's not that bad. It was completely broken. And to DauT's point, it might not have been so broken to the point where you can't beat it, but in my opinion, you can only beat it using the same civ. So like Burgundians and any Firelancer civ, let's say like Koreans was the most popular. You can't beat the siege tower playing another civilization. It's almost impossible. You have to mirror the civ or have just as meta of a civ, which is like basically those two, and that would make the games completely unfun to play and unfun to watch.
And now it was fun.
Well, there were other problems for sure with the mirrors.
There you go.
There are other problems for sure, but the siege tower was the easiest fix to the problems that we had visible. Yes,
all the fun we had.
He's trying to derail you, Hera. Don't fall for the trap.
I know. My lawyer is unhappy with what you're saying, DauT. What I will say is like, yeah, okay, there were the mirrors. There was a ton of problems. We'll give feedback for next time. You couldn't fix those necessarily. We did speak about them. And the siege tower was the obvious ban. I think the siege tower did make the quality of the games better. Like I was streaming to thousands of people throughout the entire qualifier, and the number one complaint was the siege tower was horrible and the mirror matches were horrible. Like that's what the viewers just did not want to see those. They hated them by the end. Even the people that were like the biggest fans of the siege tower, near the end are like, if I see another siege tower, I'm out. I'm not watching anymore. And my opinion is, if the viewers aren't watching, then the tournament is completely for nothing. Like I used to think, the players are really important. Now I'm realizing the players are freaking dogs. They're barking left and right. Nobody cares. If the viewers are there, that's what matters. That's what RedBull cares about. That's what the streamers care about, and that's what the viewers care about. So the viewers are the most important thing for sure. I don't think anyone's arguing that. And so I think you have to make the viewing experience as good as possible for the viewers. And it's not perfect, but I think the siege tower did make it a lot better. And now we'll go into another point here, that I didn't push for the siege tower. This is a misconception. What I did is I'm a player representative on that Discord, the players Discord. I have 30, 40 top players. This is in an initiative from Microsoft with a Microsoft representative, which is Nilly. Spoiler. And they made a Discord where top players can kind of either voice their complaints, give feedback, give any kind of, any problems that come up, they voice their opinions there. And players were voicing their opinions. Viper was talking about it. Mr. Yo was talking about it. Tons of other players were talking about it. And nobody was doing anything. So they're just complaining, I hate siege tower. I hate mirrors. It was turning into a therapy session in there. And people just dumping problems. Nobody coming up with solutions. So me, a licensed therapist, no, I'm kidding. I just came in. I'm a player representative. And I just said, okay, listen, there's a lot of complaints. Let's just hold it to a vote and take it to the admins. That's all I did. And I want to hear from DauT. How was that me deciding that I want to ban the siege towers?
If you didn't do that, siege towers would stay.
Yes, but that's my job as a player representative. I was chosen.
There you go.
But the players are complaining about it.
Phrase it like, guys, we can make a gentleman agreement. If you're a terrible human being, you will use siege tower. If you're an angel, if you're such a lovely person, let's ban it, guys. Let's be friends.
That's not what I said.
That's how you phrase
Was the problem
it.
here was that it came to the public? Was that it became public at some point? And I don't want to point names. Lewis, I don't want to say who was at fault.
It was not Lewis. It was someone else. But I won't name him anyway. It was not Lewis. So somebody leaked it. This is a private Discord. It should never be leaked because we're just talking things. I'm not wording it to the public.
Wasn't it Sorakuma, I think?
Okay, you said it, not me. It was Sorakuma. and then like, the TEG guy made a video, like Wayne, but it's okay. Like it's all good now. We've spoken. I've talked it out. Sorakuma got warned. It's okay. But here's the thing. It was never supposed to be for the public. I was wording things just for the players to understand. And the only point I made, and it was poorly worded. I said not what DauT said, but I said we have no way to enforce. I said we have no way to enforce the ban. Like I'm letting players know that if we make a gentleman's agreement to not use the siege tower, this is similar to the gentleman agreement of deleting the villagers when you spawn with less vills. You have no way to enforce it, but assuming good faith from the players who agree, everyone's on board, then it's up to like the only downside, the only way to like prevent people from doing it is if they do it, the reputation is potentially ruined. Like they said they'll honor it and then they use it, the reputation in the community amongst players is ruined. That's the only thing preventing players from using it because we're not admins and we can't punish them. That was the point I'm making. Granted, it was poorly worded. I didn't want to come off as like, if you use it, you're horrible, outcasted for sure. It could have been worded a lot better and I'll learn for next time. I really will. But the main point I was making is just that we're not admins and we can't enforce it. This is a very flimsy gentleman's agreement. I wanted people to know that. In the end, it didn't come down to a gentleman's agreement. We brought that back to the admins. Hey, listen, the players still want to do a gentleman's agreement. That's incredibly messy. Can we just get the admins to do something? And they did something 5 days later. And that's the story, basically.
But point is, like, as soon as you wrote that gentleman's agreement and we had like back and forth, I played MPL and he made 20 siege servers on me. Like, he wanted, like, you're against it, motherfucker. I will do this to you now. He was so pissed that he lost.
Listen,
in the end.
I love him for that though. That's funny as hell.
And he lost. He was, see how broken it is.
That's funny as hell. One thing
Amazing.
I have a hard time understanding though, guys, is this was already a problem during KOTD, wasn't it? I don't know if it was as big of a problem. So was it just not clear how broken this could be with Fire Lancers specifically? Even though we saw Fire Lancers in Siege Tower a whole bunch in KOTD.
It was absolutely clear.
Was this not discussed? Let's ban this from the get-go?
The only person that didn't know it was broken is the dev team. Everybody else knew it was broken. We could have talked about banning it beforehand, but I think people we were talking about banning mirrors beforehand and like creating a draft system. We were talking about other stuff beforehand, which didn't end up doing anything either way. So I guess we should have talked about that. It's always the player's fault. It comes back to us. DauT should have done better.
Or Nilly.
Just put it on Nilly if you're not sure who to blame. Okay, yeah, so the mirrors. Obviously, you said it many times before. A lot of people said it many times before. It was very likely that it would become a problem. This time around, it was the Korean mirrors. DauT, I think I heard you say that you were one of the first ones to actually use the Koreans. You sort of gave yourself the title of the Korean Master.
Probably
is that
it would be
true?
created, like, I use Koreans for different reasons. Like, the meta transition from the last RedBull where everybody play Portuguese, Sartans, crossbow. I cannot play crossbow. So it was either Byzantines or Koreans, and I give Koreans a try. Now, if that would continue after or not, I don't know. But my reasoning was I cannot play crossbow. Give you a good skirmisher too.
I think he might have, and I will say I'm going to give DauT credit, which I rarely do, by the way. I'm breaking some crazy laws here by doing this, but I think DauT figured out the meta incredibly quickly. He was on Koreans early. He was on Romans on the Glacis map, which ended up being the best civ. So DauT, honestly, you figured out the meta early, and I think that's part of the reason you jumped so high, actually.
And then everybody copy, and I'm
exactly. The problem with the ladder is that it's not good enough. If you win a couple rounds, it's like he has 5 days left. Everybody knows his secrets, and it's just there's no more secrets left to give.
Yo, DauT,
unfortunately,
there was a time where you were selling coaching for $500 on the GamerLegion websites. Just drop it a little bit, bro. And a lot of pro players are gonna take coaching from you.
I said this on stream as well once. Once I start selling coaching, you guys know I have a money problem. Like, I would not do it any other way. For GL, we had a contract, like, so we had to do part of promotion of the website.
Did you actually coach anybody for $500?
Yes.
You
There
did?
was, like, 4 times, I believe.
what?
So I will keep the price.
My
All right.
goodness.
Good to know.
It
Good
was
to
always
know.
like a present to, like, from wife to husband for, like, getting married or, like, birthday present. And I was, like, jumping from the cake. Like, like basically not really coaching, just like a clown.
Like when
be
you bring
there
a
for
puppy
5 years,
to a
be
little
there.
kid.
Exactly.
Rent DauT for an hour. It's not even coaching.
Basically that they rent me for an hour.
Okay, so I obviously don't know who the person was, but I can imagine that if it's someone who's not a good player, it's probably not as exciting for you. But I would have to assume that you coaching like a really high level player has to be actually very fulfilling for you because you're talking deep strategy, deep.
Yes, but high level players are broke. They cannot afford it. Trust me, they
$500
have no money or nothing, man.
Fair enough.
Only casters can pay me.
And no one wants to.
And nobody wants to.
Why would the casters want to be players? They're making 10 times the money casters.
Why would they go downhill?
The players are dogs,
I
guys.
would buy casting coaching.
Maybe you have a future for once, DauT. Something to live for.
Soon enough, I will earn more than you.
Honestly, within the first few weeks, you'd probably earn more. But I want to say something here. I think DauT is a guy that can bring, like, the future I see for DauT, because let's be honest, this whole playing gimmick, maybe 1-2 years max. Let's just be,
You said that 2
completely
years
real.
ago.
You have been pushing expectations, I'm not going to lie, but it's going to come to an end at some point. I think the future for DauT is actually just being the first professional coach, because here's the thing. all other games have coaches. The benefit of a coach is I'm sitting here, I'm one player. Let's say I'm the best in the world, right? But I'm like, yo, DauT, there's this map. I can't invest too much time to it. Get like the top 5 civs, and I come and play what you tell me to play. And then he makes my practice 10 times more efficient. And I would just be completely unstoppable if I had that kind of thing behind me, because then I'm playing all the best ideas. Nothing's slipping in my mind. He's full-time working. The only problem is I got nothing to pay him with. That's the only problem. There's just not enough money for him.
So I got no future.
No future. If you can cast, you cast. If not,
this is supposed to be positive, Hera. This is supposed to be positive.
It's kind of positive. If the money increases in the tournaments, then maybe he can get a cut. But we'll see. Maybe not as well.
Okay, so one thing I'm very curious about here, DauT. Do you think that Koreans is really just the best civ in a lot of these maps, or is this just a case of people not having time to actually test and
monkey
prepare?
see, monkey do.
Okay, so you do feel like there is a counter, people just didn't have the time to actually come up with it.
For sure. I think Bazotivs do well, but problem is Firelancer, like everybody's slapping eagles these days. Even Firelancer that are like not counter to the eagle, but let's counter the eagle as well. Overall, you're just safe with Koreans, but for example, last year, Saracens, you were like, oh, you're safe with Saracens. Nobody plays Saracens now. Koreans would smash them. So there is a way to beat Koreans, but why would you invest time finding a counter? Let's say Inca is a counter, and tomorrow, Inca mirror all day. That's the point, right? Just stick with the Koreans and maybe save the counter for the last hour or so, last day, and get some buff to yellow. But other than that, just repeat. If it works, do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for me, one thing that I'd be very curious to hear your takes on. So the viewership throughout this whole ladder qualifier thing was amazing. I think on the last day, just a few hours before the whole thing closed, there were 35,000 people watching, which is really comparable to an S-tier tournament. And this wasn't even the main event, so you can already hope there's going to be crazy in the last day. But the question for me remains, because obviously, Hera, this was amazing, the last few moments, a lot of hype, a lot of tension, but it's very easy to imagine a situation where none of that happens, and actually the last few hours are people just camping their point and that it's boring as fuck. So do you see this kind of qualification system as actually being superior to the traditional regular qualifiers that we used to have in the past? Do you have a final take on that?
It's extremely simple. This was better for viewers. We do this every time. That's my opinion. I don't think it can be done for all tournaments. It has to be only for big tournaments. I'm thinking RedBull. I'm thinking if we ever get Esports World Cup, it should be done for that one as well. It has to be big tournaments with huge prize pools, because then it justifies putting in the 500 games. If you tell them, play 500 games for TTL to see where you place, no one's gonna play, right? But
or for
RedBull, yes. So for RedBull, it makes a lot of sense. But I think we should do the ladder qualification every time. The pros vastly outweigh the cons. The viewership, by the way, it was not just a lot of viewers. The viewers were so excited to see what's going to happen. Every single day they'd come. I had more viewers on every single day of my stream.
You're closer to caster than me. You're talking like a caster.
That's true. That's true.
Honestly, this tournament might have changed me. I broke a viewership record. I had 12,500 people watching my stream.
Across both streams, right? Yeah,
the best way retired to cast.
So they have no players, only casters.
I'm not far away. I have to resist the temptation because this viewership was insane. And the hype was crazy. It was the first time I felt like a big streamer. Seriously, in my entire life, my chat was flying. I couldn't read a single message. We had prime subs flooding in. The hype was absolutely through the roof, and it was just an incredible moment. So I'm actually very grateful for that. It was a great experience, but more so than that, throughout every single day, the viewers were coming in super excited. Check the standings. What's happening? What did ACCM do? Wow, 37 win streak. That's crazy. There were so many good parts about the qualifier. And I think, in my opinion, it can even get better. If they introduce a draft where there's random bans every game, so you can't one trick a civ, it would force people to get creative without having what DauT said of you find a civ, it's mirror match the next day. If you ban mirror matches, you can't go mirror. You have to pick a civ. There's random bans every single game, so you have to pick something fresh every time. I think the ladder qualifier would be so entertaining for both the players and the viewers, and it's 100% the way to go. No doubt in my mind, every really big tournament should be doing this for sure.
DauT?
Viewers want what viewers want, they get. We are here just to dance. If you want to rent me $500, I will dance for the viewers. Simple as that. We don't even need a draft civ. We just need not to be mirror. If there was no mirror civ as an option, And also, we don't need a map bans. Everything is open. One map ban maximum. We are here to showcase all the maps, practice on
agree
all
with
the
that.
maps. We don't. One ban is maximum. Then it would be different. Like we would have more of the water map. Now
That's
in
such
the
a
end,
good idea. Mhm.
in the end, we were only playing Arabia map, like Cards Acclivity. They're not even in the tournament, right? Just because they are Arabia, you're most familiar with them. Like that was not the point.
Dune Springs,
Remove,
right?
put everything in, and no mirror. Then you will see.
I
Oh,
actually agree with that.
it might be Koreans. I will use artists to counter Koreans, and then it will be a bit of a mind games. As long as you cannot put a mirror, which I don't know why is that even an option.
Yeah.
Even a normal ladder that's like makes no sense. Put your tail like I will have what this guy have. Like that should not be a thing. Like only those two
You're
things.
so effortlessly funny, DauT.
Only those two things, and the ladder is perfect. Normal
I
ladder. as
agree,
well.
but there should be like 10 to 20 random bans every game. That would really increase the skill ceiling.
You
of the
start one
match.
with minus 16 villagers. Imagine if they implement all this. Like you will
Yeah,
start with
yeah.
OTC, man.
Yeah.
Shield.
Yeah.
Shield.
Ideally,
Step at a time.
yes.
One step at a
ideally,
time.
Yeah, ideally they do that, but it's one thing. And Nili has spoken about this. A lot of things that sound so easy. If you go through what it takes to actually implement those changes, there's so many people involved, people that need to be paid. I mean, I know with the matchmaking system, it's not actually Forgotten Empires doing it. I think it's Relic Link. It's like the infrastructure
It's
that
all
they use.
clear now.
Well, so they need to go through them, and then it's just very. I assume that's why it's so hard to change these things. That would be my assumption.
Well, like you can make anything sound impossible. Like I have to play another Korean mirror. I played 500. The admin's gonna take 100 points from me. Like you can make anything sound
I'm
impossible.
with you. I'm with you. I wanted to change it, of course.
Like, somebody do it.
Yeah,
Just
somebody.
take from
please do
DauT's
it.
prize pool. Who cares? The guy who made 500.
Take it
Take
all.
the 500. DauT will gladly give it up and pay the guy to do it. Like the players want to have fun at this point.
All right, my friends, don't forget that this weekend, January 24th and 25th, the second and last phase of the RedBull qualification will be taking place, the very aptly named Last Chance Qualifier. This will be a single elimination bracket where the last 4 players will have the chance to qualify to the main event. Those who finished 5th to 8th place in the Ladder Qualifier will go directly to the last round of the bracket. That's Viper, Barrels, MBL, and Winchester. And those who finished 9th to 12th will go directly to the second last round of the bracket. Those are Tato, Lewis, Freaking Andy, and Cito. So, DauT, now we can talk about the brackets. Do we know who'll be facing?
How can we talk about the right? It's not even written yet. There's no my name. There's only like 4 names in the bracket.
But you were about to say what your bracket was.
But depends like who checks in. Like last time I was supposed to have completely different bracket, and then Cito forgot to check in. And like, oh god, I still will never forgive him that. Like,
There was that.
then I got this team into Yo, and I was supposed to have nobody. Like, but in theory, I should have a Luis MBL bracket.
Ooh.
I should have like Lucho into Nico into Luis into MBL. So
That
see you
sounds
soon.
impossible.
See you London.
No way. That sounds
Dude,
impossible.
but that's like I was happy about those brackets.
You're happy about that?
But what else? I can get your Tato into Viper. Like, this is good. This is good.
I don't know. I like. I think you beat Lucho, honestly, because I think Lucho plays a one-dimensional. Nikov, you'll probably win because he's gonna like I don't know. Like,
Just
he
into
might
in
mess
first
up,
game.
so. Yeah, like it's 50-50, but you maybe you'll win. Lewis, I'm not sure, man.
Well,
Lewis is playing very well.
The red dot is off. I'm off. Like if he is that kid off, don't invite me anymore. Like I'm done here. Like Lewis
If you lose to
beating me.
Lewis,
Lewis.
Lewis is good. If you underestimate
Lewis
him,
is
you will
good,
lose him
man.
for sure.
Lewis is
He's
good.
very good. Like Lewis is like, despite having really low IQ, he's very good. That's like the way I describe him. You know, like he's.
I will give you that, but still, still.
You're
think-
right, at
and
least about that, Hera.
if you get past Lewis, I think you'll beat MBL for what it's worth. So I think Lewis is the hardest guy.
So
there
I
for you.
mean, see you London soon.
All right. Boys, I'd like to hear a prediction from you guys. So we have on one bracket Tato and Barrels. Again, assuming everybody wins their matches, that would be the final match. However, in this bracket, I think that's the one where Mr. Yo is most likely to end.
With
So,
100 ELO less.
with 100 ELS. So, Hera, Yo, Tato, or Barrels, who makes it on this side of the bracket?
Yo smashes both. Yo has a good
Wow.
matchup against Tato, and Barles. I don't see him doing much against Yo. I think Yo will win both. My
Okay,
prediction.
DauT, agreed?
Tato, this is my friend. I love it.
It's best of 5. It's best of 5. Anything. Even I can lose to Luis in best of 5. Let's be honest.
You will.
I think whoever wins Tato Yo, beats Barrels, I would say Yo is probably a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But it's best of 5. It's Emperor Wars.
Anything can happen.
Anything. But yeah, I think, I would give advantage to Yo.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then the other bracket would be DauT, Lewis, and MBL. We already heard from DauT where he thinks it's going to end. Hera has also sort of indicated he has a rough idea. So who do you have, Hera?
I have Lewis personally.
Okay. Over MBL even and DauT.
Even MBL.
Even MBL. Like,
because
MBL's there. Like,
he already
MBL's,
said... DauT,
MBL's lucky to be there. Like.
Let me say my honor, DauT, because he already said that he thinks he would be above you. That's why I said it. Not because I think.
I'm here for almost an hour. And you know how much is rented out.
500, I heard. Wow.
There
we
you
need
go.
to hurry up.
I will stay here 10 more minutes. Do whatever you want with me.
Let's hurry up. Okay, so next bracket is Freaking Andy and Winchester. What do you have here, DauT?
Winchester should be a big favorite. Then again, last time, Andy did surprise him for the China event, right? He had some shoe strategy, some chariot and so on.
Man, oh, true. I remember that now. Yeah. Man, you guys' memory is unbelievable. Yeah. Hera?
I would have to go with Winchester. I think he's way too solid on Empire War settings, and I think the only way to beat him is to pressure him hard. So my advice to Andy would be to pressure the Winchester boom, basically. And he has a small chance, but I would go with Winchester.
All right, and last but not least, Cito against the Viper. And again, we're just assuming everybody wins their matches, and these are the two guys in the last round. DauT?
I will go Cito. Heart wants what it wants. I want RedBull without Viper. I want him to feel it. First LAN event without him. That's how it starts.
Oh my goodness.
You wanted to feel how it feels. You want him to know how it feels.
I want him to know.
You know, I'm going to make a prediction. I like Viper a lot, of course, so I do hope he qualifies. But if he doesn't, I bet RedBull gets him there. As an analyst, as a caster.
Even better, rent a Viper. Even better.
I mean, last time we had we had DauT there. DauT had no job. They had him in a costume, so
I was carrying Viper's flag.
But that was GamerLegion who decided to get in there. That wasn't RedBull. Hera, who do you have? Cito or Viper?
I have Viper. I think there's too much on the line for him, and I think he played a lot of ladder games. Didn't really work out too well for him, but he still plays top 8, and I think he learned a lot from those ladder games. And I think because he was playing a lot of random stuff at some point, I think there's way too much at stake for him to give it up so easily. And honestly, I don't really like how Cito plays. I think he needs to sharpen up his playstyle a little bit. He has some good ideas, but in my opinion, it just ends up being way too sloppy. So I think he needs to really tighten up his games because he's just leaking so many games just to throws. He's just throwing games.
Let the boy throw.
It's not gonna fly versus Viper.
Let
that's my take.
Let the boy throw. Don't improve other players. We are already a bit too many improved players. Let it stay for one more year at least.
We have too many people playing good Age of Empires. All right, boys, this was an amazing discussion on the whole RedBull affair. Thank you so much for your takes. And before we move on to the next topic, I would just like to give a shout out to Sony B50. So that's the guy who created the app that everybody was using, the whole companion and the whole overview, everybody was basically using. Great app. Everybody was using just because of how great it was. So huge shout out to the guy. And AoE2 Companion who allowed him to host the app on their website. All right, boys, let's move on. So in early 2026, we had some big shakeups to the scene, and one of them was the announcement that after more than 5 years, GamerLegion has now left Age of Empires 2. All three of us have worked with GamerLegion and for GamerLegion, so the news obviously affected all of us. Hera's made a video about it. I made a very short video about it too, but I don't think I heard your thoughts on the whole affair, DauT. You're obviously rocking in GamerLegion t-shirts. So
I hope they come back.
So let me hear your thoughts on the whole thing.
We don't have a team anymore. I'm homeless, rented out. Like GL, I mean, it's all already been talked so many times. Like it's an esports organization. They give a chance to us. I'm so grateful for them being here, and I've been part of a GL for so many years. But in the end, we are still not esports. Another proof. Well, maybe with Vitality we are, but still, it's so hard to make money for big esports organizations through the Age of Empires. And after 5 years, they kind of decide to go for the bigger games. They sign up the DauT team, and I guess they will push Counter-Strike and DauT more than us. I would do the same.
I think it's one thing that actually no one has talked about, but 5 years in Age of Empires 2 is actually pretty long. It's actually
Not for me.
quite well. You would like to have it longer, but it's quite the longevity. I mean, we think about Wii Sports, for example, that were gone before they even started. Even though I saw a tweet, they might be back or whatever. I don't know if anyone has seen. But yeah,
I don't think they're coming back with Age of Empires.
Not with Age of Empires, I think so. Okay.
I mean, I think I made a video kind of summarizing my time with GamerLegion, but I think GamerLegion as a whole honestly did a lot for the scene. They came in really early, and I think they left a big splash. Like they hosted a few LAN events. They, kind of gave some kind of professionalism to the scene, which is really good from the outside looking in. And I think they're leaving, but they're kind of passing the torch to Vitality as well. So I think it's, if there's a time for GamerLegion to leave, I mean, I would have liked them to stick around because it would be better to have multiple teams in. But, it's unfortunate, but at least we have some kind of motion still in the scene going on, because the dream is basically, and this is maybe a bit, unusual for the casual fans and viewers, but basically the more teams you have in, the more professional the scene is, because now the players can have salaries and the players can now dedicate their time. So the competition all rises, and then you tend to have that rivalry between the teams. Like you're gonna have social media posts back and forth. You'll have big events with those teams, highlighting them, so you have more eyes and more fans looking into Age of Empires, and that has the potential to snowball you towards more or less mainstream. So that's the big dream, I guess. But we're still far from that. But I think GamerLegion stepping out is a step back. But I think they've done a lot for the scene, so it's fair enough, and I wish them the best with obviously the other games they're going into.
One thing that I've read and heard a lot of times around the community was this idea: why do we even need an esports team when Age of Empires 2, for better or worse, is mostly 1v1 at the professional level? And I think for those of us who are very intimately connected to the esports scene, it's very easy to understand why, but I totally understand that people from the outside who only casually follow the whole thing, it might not be as clear. So, DauT, can you explain to us what's the benefit of having an esports organization, even if you're not playing team games?
Safety. So far, I don't think we have a single professional esport player. Maybe ACCM. I'm not even kidding. ACCM is maybe the only professional player we have right now, because he doesn't stream. His full-time job is competing.
True.
Everybody else is streaming, doing something else, having the side job like MBL. Nobody is full dedicated to play tournaments. And once that begins, we will be esport. Once Hera says it's worth for me more not to stream this year, but fully focus on tournaments, then we are esport. Until then, he's just comedian there streaming
it's just a comedian. Such a good point, though. I never thought about it. It's such a good point, though. Do you agree, Hera?
I completely agree. Yeah, I think, and just to add to the point, because I agree with that, but to add to it as well, AV2 might look like a 1v1 game, but it's really not. You have a group of players that you practice with, and if you don't have that, you literally can't compete. So imagine if I was going to go compete and I have nobody to practice with. I can only play ranked. I would lose every single tournament easily, because if you're not playing the tournament sets against trusted players that will play their highest or play their best, that you can try to make some kind of strategies up in that preparation, you can't compete in the tournaments. It's way too hard. So that's where the esports team comes to fruition. They get a group of players that are like-minded together. You guys practice a lot. You keep the strategies hidden between you guys, and then you decide when to show them in the main event. That's the whole point. And so even if it's a 1v1 competition from the outside, it's very much not a 1v1 competition on the inside. There's a lot of team preparation and build-up that goes into all these tournaments.
Mm-hmm. To what DauT just said there, though, I think it's actually a good thing that professional players have to stream, because I think it gives more people the opportunity to watch the streams. Gives more exposure to the game. I actually think it is a good thing, and I believe it's a big mistake in the whole esports industry as a whole, that a lot of players just don't give their organizations enough value, in my opinion. I mean, prize pools, yes, are great, but the salaries are way too big a lot of times. So this is how players, in my opinion, give organization value. And of course, I think it's awesome that you guys were kept streaming all the time, despite having salaries and all of that. I would wish that people, the other games would learn from Age of Empires 2 that people need to create value for their organizations. I feel like a lot of players don't do that in other games.
I agree with you. I'm surprised you're saying this because I feel like it's the kind of thing where if you're not like deep into the esports scene, you probably wouldn't know. But like, clearly you're well read. Bro? So no, I clearly you're well read because like the only reason I know it is I've spoken to other esports players. So I don't know where you get information, but that's absolutely true. 100% on the dot. Like the salaries are like 6 figures in like the professional esports teams for like bigger games. And the players get complacent, like, oh, I'm 18 making a 6-figure salary. This is the life. But then they don't build anything. And then the team is not getting enough out of that player. And so as soon as he's somewhat washed, we're not talking like DauT level washed. We're not even talking like Viper level washed. We're talking like you lose 1-2 tournaments and you're out because they're paying you salary. They want to, it's super competitive, right? And so, yeah, I agree with you. Like streaming is like, so all esports players should stream to some extent or should be active on socials. And it is a blessing that we have all the players streaming in AoE2, and I hope that continues. For me personally, I will never stop streaming. I would give up the competitive career before I give up streaming.
Because I like it also, I think.
I much prefer streaming. For me, streaming and content creation is the most satisfying thing that I'm doing at the moment. I love competing as well, but for me, it's that's getting cut before streaming gets cut, personally.
DauT, I don't know how much you can speak about this, but has there been any contact from some of the teams on the scene to actually get your services?
Everybody wants to rent it out. Yeah, obviously. I mean,
okay.
I will not say anything yet.
Of course,
but this is probably the last time I wear this t-shirt.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow. Do we have a timeline for another t-shirt?
No. Just wait.
No, not yet. Okay. So is there one particular offer you're heavily considering and leaning towards accepting? Could you reveal that much?
No comment. Team Liquid.
Comment, okay. Hey, you want to talk a little bit about the whole Team Liquid stuff, Hera, or do we forget about that?
I spoke about it on stream. Okay, basically, Team Liquid did approach me as well, but that was separate.
Didn't know that. Okay.
So that was separate. I ended up going with Vitality, but then as a joke, the Vitality manager named our group Team Liquid 2026, and thank God he did because I leaked it like the next week. And so now everybody thought it was Team Liquid, and I had to play dumb. Like, where are they getting this Liquid thing from? I have no idea what they're talking about. I was playing dumb for like months.
Okay, wait a second.
That's the story.
It was a legit leak because I kind of thought you were kind of joking, to just bait viewers a little.
Complete leak. I was showing something else on screen. I leaked the DM, and people caught it like a freaking hawk because, like, obviously streamers are. Every time I bring my Discord, it's just everyone's looking at it. But yeah, it was a legit leak, but thank God it was named Team Liquid. That was the Vitality group, like straight up. Me, Hart in there, Leary in there, and then the Vitality manager, who's really nice, by the way. I actually love that guy.
A good marketing move, even if it's not intentional. Okay, folks, but as is often the case, when one door closes, another opens. And so just a few days after GL announced their departure, Vitality announced their arrival in the Age of Empires 2 scene. Their roster will have 3 players, that's Hera, Leary, and Hart, and thus fulfilling Hera's long dream of reuniting with his old friends under the banner of a professional esports organization. And I think many folks who only follow our game will probably not be aware of how massive this actually is for the scene. But with Vitality, we're talking about a team that's really one of the biggest esports teams in the world. They compete in 15 different games or whatever. I only follow CS2, but they have arguably the number 1 player in CS2, with Zaiwu. So this is really big for the scene. And I wonder, Hera, if you could talk about a little bit and lift the veil a little bit and talk about when did the first contact occur between you and them? Did you message them? Did they message you? How was the whole thing like?
They messaged me, actually.
Wow.
And they were interested in, potentially jumping into the scene. And at first, it was actually because they expected AoE2 to be in the Esports World Cup this year.
Oops.
So the first contact was in March or even a bit earlier, maybe February of 2025. So we're talking like a year ago. And I was with GL at the time. But I think I did the right thing and I made everything extremely transparent. So I told GL, listen, it's a really big team, but I'm under contract with you guys. At this moment, I'm part of the GL. So I just let them know they're approaching me. I'm going to, talking with them, but I won't, cut the contract at all. I even let them talk. So like the Vitality manager spoke with the GL. The team of the GL CEO, basically the leader of GL, and they went back and forth as well. They were talking about ways to, work together. They were talking about, a bunch of different things. But the main idea was to be part of Esports World Cup in 2025. Okay, sorry, not even 2026. That didn't pan out, but we said, you know what, there's Red Bull coming. I was telling them basically like, I think it's a good investment either way, because I think that AoE2 is in such a good spot. So I told them like, Esports World Cup or not, this will be worth your time. And I told them like, I'll build a good team. You got the content creation that I can provide. I'm going to work harder on that. I've grown the channel basically double since 2025. It's been great on my end. And I think Vitality liked what they saw. So even though there's no Esports World Cup, they were interested in coming in. And they're kind of taking a shot on us. Unfortunately, 2026 or 2025 Esports World Cup didn't happen. 2026 Esports World Cup is not happening either.
But unfortunately, Red Bull.
Yeah, so unfortunately, the Esports World Cup angle didn't come through, but they kind of knew that. Like when we signed, at this point, they were like, you know what, we're just going to take the risk on you guys. They kind of liked what I was telling them. I hope I wasn't selling them snake oil. Like I genuinely believed what I was saying. Like Red Bull's really good. Like the content creation side of things, I'm going to work my hardest. And I think we can make something happen. We're going to try to revive the team game scene. So we have a lot of big plans that are away from Esports World Cup. But the main idea was Esports World Cup, so it didn't plan out. But luckily, he liked what I was saying for the other stuff, and he decided to give us a shot. And it's a really big opportunity because Vitality is literally top 5, like esports in the world, maybe even top 3 at this point. So they're incredibly big and incredibly good. And so far, it's been a good experience working with them. And I hope that brings something of value to the AoE2 scene, and I'm sure it will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, DauT. How big of a deal is it that we have an organization this big now coming into Age of Empires?
Well, GL was a new, smaller company, esports, and it was quite massive. Now imagine like one of the biggest esports teams. So I'm also hyped. Maybe they need a coach one day. Who knows? But yeah, it should be massive. I heard. I'm not sure if I should say this, but there will be event by them.
Yes,
that's public. I think I saw it public. So
do I need to cut this? Do I need to cut or
you don't have to cut live anyway? It's not public. I don't think you have to cut this, but it's not public. But they are planning to host an event at some point. They're in talks for that at the moment. Yeah, they're coming. Like I'm telling you, they're coming in big. We're working on hosting an event. It's going to be a LAN event. It's only secretive just because they want to build up to a big announcement. It's not like, it's a group of friends. It's like they don't want to give an announcement that's false and then they bring the hopes down. So they only announce what's confirmed. We're like in the works behind it. So the plans at the moment is to host the LAN event and then to also kind of revive the team game show matches. The LAN event could be 1v1, it could be team game. I'm not sure at the moment. But yeah, they're coming out with an event sometime in 2026, probably late, maybe early 2027. We'll see, but they do have high hopes for the scene and they want to invest into it, which is really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. DauT, one comment that I've seen and read upon the arrival of Vitality, a lot of folks were saying, okay, this is just going to be GamerLegion all over again. You have a team to dominate.
Thank you for killing team games, Hera.
You're very welcome. Right. We heard that comment over and over again when GL came, and some folks are pointing out to the fact that this is just going to be the same thing. Do you agree?
I don't know what's the problem. Honestly, I don't understand the question. Honestly, what's the problem? Having the best team with the best players.
In their minds, the problem is that you don't have any competition anymore. Now, if you want my take on it, I think that doesn't make any sense because you don't have competition in 1v1s either. It's always Hera winning.
If anything, team game competition will be the highest. I can see many teams that will, give run for their money. DauT, Viper, Onimaru got an amazing Winchester Andy. There are plenty of teams like Sebastian, Nico. Plenty of because team game ceiling is lower than 1v1 and it's more comes down to the strategy and there are at least 6 teams that can compete with them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's definitely not like that. If anything, they are now even better in 1v1 because they are training with each other way more because they are getting all the salaries. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. But you cannot blame anybody for that.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with DauT on that one as well. So basically team games should be more competitive than 1v1s even because team games, I don't have as much agency in team games. And I don't think that we're necessarily the best. We haven't played in a very long time, so we'll see. And there's a lot of other, for example, Viper and DauT play Rage Forest all day. So they're in theory really good on team games, or at least they have good understanding of team games. So they should be a very strong team. The Chinese team is really good. But yeah, just to add to DauT's point as well, is I feel like when it comes to team games, there could be we could see some ragtag teams join up. For example, Dogao can make a team with a couple of Brazilian guys, and that could be really good. Like, you don't need to be the best 1v1 players to be in a team game or a team like a 3v3 team that's going to do well. So I think we'll see more competition in team game. And just to like go a step further, it's not a bad thing to have a dominant team. Like, if you have one team that's the best, if anyone beats us, that's going to be a huge story. That's just how competition works. Like, the next guy who beats me in a 1v1 S tier tournament, that guy's a freaking hero. That guy will be paraded. Yeah. He will be paraded across all socials. It's going to be the greatest event of all time. Nobody saw that coming. It's probably going to be Lewis, let's be honest. And it's just that's just how it goes. That's how it goes. So I think having a dominant champion is a good storyline, and we haven't even proved ourselves in team games. So if it happens, it's a good storyline. If it doesn't happen, even better, whatever. More competition, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right, boys, last topic that we're going to be covering today. Amid all the excitement in the professional scene, don't forget, everybody, we'll still have a new DLC to look forward to, or not, depending on where you lie on the whole discussion. The Last Chieftains is set to release February 17th and is already available for pre-order with a 15% discount. Prices vary by region, of course. The new DLC brings with it 3 new civilizations. That's the Mapuche, the Muisca, and the Tupi. Now, folks, every time a new DLC comes out, this whole discussion about whether we now have too many civilizations ends up resurfacing, and this DLC was obviously no exception to that. And this is actually a topic we've covered many times on the podcast now, but I don't think I've heard a DauT take on that. So, DauT, do we have too many civilizations in Age of Empires 2 right now?
I'm not the right person to ask, right? I'm playing this for so many years. I'm a streamer. I need content. I like new... Like, for me, it's never enough. So I cannot be objective there. I want unlimited, like, and also more civs, more DLCs, more money to Microsoft, more tournaments. Give them, keep them going, right? For me, it's good, so I cannot be subjective there. Overall, I enjoy new civs a lot. Like, it's like a new toy. Like, I get so hyped with this Shiram Shari, always dodge. Let's test them out. I love new toys, but yeah, I cannot be 100% subjective if it's a good for the game. I think it is, because like if it stayed at the prehistoric era, my era, we would still be playing only Hans War. And would that still be alive 25 years later? Probably not. So all of those new changes are not well received all the time. They are needed. They are needed to keep the game fresh and keep the new people. Like, Luis was not even born when I won first tournament, and now he's playing, and Hera is giving him better chance than me.
Maybe beating you, yeah.
Exactly. So we need to keep up with the new generation at least a little bit. All those moves are not super heavy. We don't have heroes with experience yet.
Well, yeah.
That levels up. Well, we
Lower
can
your
use
voice.
Heroes.
Devs listen to the show, so Hera.
So I feel like I'm kind of on the other side of the ship. I also love new content, and you can bet your ass I'm gonna be clickbaiting it. We're gonna have some on release videos for sure. I know the game, but this is basically the first DLC that I'm not excited about. And not because it's not a good DLC. I'm actually really excited that it's a South American DLC. I've been living in Argentina for a few years. The fan base down here is extremely passionate. I love that it's a South American DLC. I think that's going to be fantastic for the scene. It's going to bring in a lot of new players for sure. But I'm just not excited about having new civilizations that have a bunch of new units when I feel like the current civilizations from the last DLC are still not balanced. The current units in the last DLC are still not balanced. And on top of that, we have the new water rework that's going to be coming in. I don't know the timeline, if it's the same time or not.
For sure,
I fear, and I'm going to make a video about this, but I fear that Age of Empires 2 might not be recognizable anymore. Like, I think genuinely people that used to play the game back in the day might not recognize the game that we have once the water rework hits, once the new DLC hits. We're going to have, like, genuinely for the first time, so many things that are different about the game. And I think it might actually lose that nostalgia factor. And I think that nostalgia is a big reason why we're still alive. So I think the devs are playing, obviously a risky game. They're obviously wanting to profit and wanting to pump out new content. There's benefit there, obviously. But I think it comes at the cost of killing the nostalgia that the game has carried for so many years. And I think this, like, for me, this is the line. Like, the Three Kingdoms, they broke it for a lot of people. I was like, okay, like last straw for me. Like, this, like, tone it down. Like, fixed other parts of the game before introducing something new, and then lo and behold, nothing's been fixed. The balance is not the best. The new units are still a little bit buggy, a little bit weird, and bam, new DLC coming. That's, for me, this is the line, and maybe my opinions will change once it comes out, but for me, this is like they need to take a step back for sure and fix some of the other stuff before making more civs.
Okay, so I think I'm a little bit more maybe on the DauT side here. So I think I hear your take and all of it makes sense, absolutely. But I feel like your take is the not typical, but it's the take of someone who's very invested in the multiplayer scene, which you obviously are, and that's totally understandable. Do you think, though, I'm legitimately curious, I imagine we know that the single player crowd are the vast majority of the player base. I imagine that someone who's a single player, whenever a campaign comes out or a DLC, he buys it, he plays it, then he drops the game, he plays it again when the next DLC is out. I feel like for those folks, it's not really necessary to understand how every single bonus interacts with each other and to really know how every single unique unit acts. I imagine for those folks, it's just like DauT said, it's just a toy, you know? Okay, so now there's a guy that when he dies, he heals everybody around you. Wow, how cool is that? Now, for you as a pro player, you need to understand, okay, so how's this shit going to interact with all the bonuses? How can I use this? So it's a lot of work for you, understood. But I feel like if we know that the single player crowd is the crowd that's actually paying for the tournaments, is actually paying for all these amazing things and all the support that we have from Microsoft, isn't that understandable from the side of Forgotten Empires that they're focusing on these things that they think the single player crowd enjoys?
It's a thin line between those two things, right? I see Hera point and I like it. I like it a lot. And it's about two devs. Like they know what they're doing. They have been keeping this game alive for so many years. I will trust their judgment more, even if it's nilly. But they should know better. And yeah, need a balance. Like you cannot overwhelm. Like then we will not get new Louis. Like it will be too many units, too much time to learn. It's not worth it. Like, for example, I would like to play Age of Empires 4 here and there. I really honestly like the game. But I saw new saves, everything redone. I cannot be bothered. And soon enough, we will get the same feeling in AoE2. Well, some already do.
I'm not necessarily buying that the single player is worth more than the multiplayer side of things. And I'll tell you why. There's obviously more single player players.
I'm not saying it's worth more. I'm just saying there are more of those. And this is factual.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, yeah. So there are more single player players. That is true. You know, you're absolutely right about that. But I think the multiplayer, even though we're less numbers, I think we actually have a lot of things going for us, and we're very important. You know, not to sound like it's all about me, but multiplayer is really important because that's where the streaming is mostly done. Now, if you look at the single player stuff, there's not any like major content creation being done there. People play through the campaigns; it gets tens of thousands of views, but the hundreds of thousands of views are done mainly on the multiplayer side of things. And if you only do like content creation when there's a new DLC, like Spirit of Law makes a few videos, I make a few videos, T90 makes a few videos, new stuff, and then we all go offline until the next DLC, the game will be effectively dead. So what keeps it really alive and keeps it in the public or on the internet, having some kind of relevancy is the day-to-day multiplayer. So like the day-to-day players are worth a lot more than like one day-to-day multiplayer player is worth a lot more than a single player player who buys the DLC, plays it, and leaves. Because that multiplayer guy is contributing towards keeping the game alive in the, maybe not esports scene, but in the day-to-day activities and in the internet, culture scene, like Reddit and whatnot. So from that perspective, I totally understand, selling DLCs to the single-player players, getting them to come back, that's great. But I think that the multiplayer, like if people quit over, like it's just unbalanced or like there's just too many new things that don't want to play anymore, like DauT said, like, they just have a lot of work. They want to come relax. They don't recognize the game. They'll just quit and do something else. I think that's a lot to lose. Like I'd be very worried about that personally.
Mm-hmm. I think as always, yeah, I agree with you. It's just a fine line to balance for sure. I think you might be overestimating. I wish I had the numbers. Microsoft is incredibly secretive about these things. I think you might be overestimating how many of these single players actually watch that content. I think for a lot of them, whenever there's like something on Steam, new DLC is coming, they buy it. They give a lot of money to Microsoft. With that money, Microsoft can pay the multiplayers, can pay tournaments and all of that. And that's actually one of the things, and maybe something we'll discuss in the future, one of the things that we should maybe try to do more here on the competitive scene is create content that actually brings those single players to watch the tournaments and actually try ranked multiplayer, try how fun it can be. I think it's actually easier than getting totally new people who never touched the game before to actually start trying. I think we should actually try to get those guys that already play, but only the campaigns twice a year. to actually try multiplayer, try how fun this can be, play with friends and so on. That would be my take on the whole thing.
Those who play chill game, they want to play chill. Like I've been there. Like it's like I go with the friends when I was younger. They play like they're chilling. Like they don't care what's going on. Like, and now you want to put him in the full stress situation where Hera is microing every single archer. They don't want that.
Not everyone's gonna play like Hera for sure. Yeah, but
a lot of players are playing like that at 1000 yellow. That's the sad part. They don't want that. So only special kind of people who are very competitive will be dragged into that. It doesn't mean that he come from Age of Empires background, StarCraft, whatever. But it's person basis. Like he is competitive. He will be competitive if he watch Counter-Strike, Age of Empires, whatever. We want him to watch Age of Empires. And those guys who play campaign, he will play Half-Life campaign in Counter-Strike. He will not watch the professional esport there either. Like, it's different type of personality.
That's very fair point. Very fair point.
I agree with that. Very good point.
Yeah. All right, folks. This was amazing, man. Had such a good time with both of you guys.
Thank you for the invite.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. And also, I just want to say a couple things. This is going to be the first episode on my channel. So once again, reminding everyone to, if you like the content, check out the donation link below. Consider supporting the channel. This is going to be to continue the podcast on the channel, and also maybe to pay DauT a little bit for the fee.
Rent a DauT.
And I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and give us feedback in the comments below for what you'd like to see in the next episode or anything we could be doing better, and who the next guest should be. Because of course, DauT has been a great guest, but we can't afford to rent him for more than one episode at a time. So
can't be him all the time. All right, DauT. All the luck to you in the last chance qualifier starting tomorrow.
If I get to Lewis, I'm happy. Like, my mission is to get to Lewis.
and then actually beat him so you can shove it in Hera's face. Yeah?
No, it's fine.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you very soon, hopefully. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.